It's interesting, right? Because, the streaming is great for people, like, for listeners,
Yeah.
right? Because, I can create a playlist on Spotify, I can discover new music, same and it's interesting because it took me a long time to move to Spotify. For a long time, I was stuck on music videos, so I
Hmm.
was making these playlists on YouTube. But yeah, I hear that the model really sucks.
Well,
So
financially, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, there's no sugarcoating it, but I agree with you that it can be an amazing tool, and I think some people are really using, and some DJs have really embraced it. Like I've just had such a knee jerk reaction to Spotify that I just can't get into it. Like I know I should, and everyone's always asking me for playlists, and I say, oh, listen, why do you need a playlist? I got a mix. Just listen to this mix instead. But people just don't consume music. Well, not that many people. Dancers consume mixes. Like when I listen to music, I love to listen to mixes. So I'll seek out a DJ, I'll follow them, I'll go on their Mixcloud, or now it's Twitch. Twitch is a big thing. So I like to listen to DJs mixing records. But for individual songs, I get it. It's very convenient and it's a great way to share. But you know, it's tough. It's tough.
It definitely is. How
Yeah.
about the pressure for self-promotion, you know? So, again, social media, you were saying how it has divided people and all that stuff, but also, it has created this weird scenario where artists are responsible for their own self-promotion. I work as a digital strategist. I have a few artists under my, as my clients, and, boy, is it ever overwhelming for them. It's a tough, um, landscape, I guess.
Yeah,
So
it's
how do
incredible.
you handle that?
Listen, I mean, I know people ask me all the time, like, how do you get so much, traction on Facebook and stuff like that? I don't even really consider that if you look at someone like, I don't know, Gary Vaynerchuk and people like these are the masters of it. For me, I dabble in it. I do what I can. I try to allocate as much time as I can to sharing stuff and understanding the platforms and understanding what they do. And I do, I think it's really important for artists to be spending some amount of time on social media to try to understand, what people are saying, what the trends are, what the music is that people are sharing, and how people are how music fits into that world. But for example, like TikTok, like I really need to spend some time learning TikTok. It's like I know that there are immense opportunities there to connect with people, and it's just how much time do you want to spend on it. And at the end of the day, being an artist, it's a practice. And if you're spending all your time doing those things, then you're not going to be spending the deep, you know profound amount of time that you need in the studio, the extensive amount of time that you need to be honing your skills, right? So it's a weird world where you could easily spend all day just promoting something, but you could also easily spend all day just working on your craft and getting better at it and creating also. I mean, no matter how great you are, it still takes a lot of time to create something, especially something great. And so it's this strange thing where I think a lot of the young artists are spending way more time promoting themselves than we ever were. But maybe this is just the way. I mean, it's just the way it has to be right now. But I know for a fact that artists, a long time ago, were not spending this time doing. I know from reading biographies of the great jazz musicians that they were spending time playing. Like that's how they spent their time. And ultimately, there are only so many hours in the day, and if you're spending all your time promoting yourself, then it's and then it's also a conundrum because at the same time you've got access to every single song that ever comes out is just there. And so, and the minute something is really good, it gets shared like crazy. So you've got this environment where it's almost, and I feel it as well as an artist, is like I don't even want to put out 90% of the stuff that I do because I feel like everything is so polished and so finished that it's not the type of environment where people want to hear your rough drafts. You know what I mean?
Ah.
It's like you're expected to be always hitting with your best thing, like everything you put out, and you're only as good as the last record you put out. And so it's the type of thing where like we censor ourselves so much in what we say because we want to get those likes, or we want people to, you don't want to be publicly shamed for something that you say. Well, it's the same thing. Artists are doing it constantly. They're constantly self-censoring, and I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for the scene. I don't think it's good for the art. But it's the way that these algorithms have been programmed. I mean, the algorithms were not programmed with art in mind. That's the bottom line here. The algorithms are programmed with one thing in mind, and that's engagement. And so they're trying to engage as many people as possible for as long as possible so that they can sell them stuff. And they do it brilliantly. And we are the product, you know. And so this it's this really effed up thing that we are the resource that is being mined, you know. We are the Bitcoin that they're after. You know, the mind, our minds, our taste, our opinions, our data is what's being mined. You know, it's almost like an unthinking machine, and it's after engagement. That's what it wants, and that's what it's getting. And the art is just one of the other things that's fallen by the wayside, you know, in a lot of ways.